We are Belco. We never stop. We never sleep. Together, we power Bermuda. We are not just employees. We are a family of 257 people who are experts in our field. We are mentors, ensuring the next generation of experts. We use fuel to generate electrical energy. We generate power by operating and running 17 generators. We work through the night to start your mornings and on holidays to power your celebrations. We monitor generators 24/7 to ensure an uninterrupted energy supply. We manage all of Bermuda's electricity, and our operations center is always running. We transmit your energy from Belco to 34 substations across Bermuda and direct to your homes and businesses through overhead wires. We keep Belco moving. Our mechanical and electrical engineers work above, below, and all around to keep you switched on. We protect our team and work every day for a safer environment. We constantly work to conserve Bermuda. We support Bermuda, our Bermuda. Above all, we serve you. We are Belco.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday, May 29th, 2017. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us tonight. Day 3 of racing got underway today on the waters of the Great Sound of the 35th America's Cup, which proved to be yet another exciting one. Bermudian business owners appeared to have been inundated by the thousands of fans who came out to the event village and dockyard to see the races, which started Saturday, followed by a spectacular opening ceremony that was complete with specialized skydivers who plunged into the ocean. Our news team is all over the America's Cup and including race results, fashion, the people, and other sights and sounds. But before we get to that, we have some major news coming out of the UK. Third time's a charm for Nikki Wells as Huddersfield are promoted to the English Premier Division for the upcoming 2017-2018 season. Earl Basin will have the full story later on in tonight's sports report. In other news, Premier Michael Dunkley today dismissing continued claims that the cost of the America's Cup has climbed to more than $100 million. Speaking with Gary Moreno at Cross Island, Mr. Dunkley maintains it is well within the budget.
I heard the opposition leader on a talk show yesterday saying $110 million. He still hasn't put out where the $110 million come from. It's not correct. It's misinformation at best. You know, Minister Gibbons has been upfront and very accountable on this. To the end of March, last financial year close, the $39 million that we had budgeted, we were on target within that budget. This year, I believe we plan to spend $29 million on it. We're still on target and on budget. And so I'm very confident that we've met that. The ACBDA has been very good at managing their dollar, getting the bang for the buck, and you can be assured that this government will get our bang for the buck. Managing large projects, we prove that we can do it. And this will come in on budget and will be a resounding success. Just look around you.
What about the concessions that were granted to the organizers of this event here in Bermuda? It's been suggested that perhaps we've given them too much and not getting good return on that investment, so to speak.
I disagree. We were upfront. We put those concessions out there. You know, in today's world, if you're going to negotiate to get the best for the people that you serve, and we serve all of Bermuda from the east to the west, work day and night for the people of Bermuda, because we understand the struggle that people have gone through. It's real, and this government is turning it around. But you have to make it happen, you have to understand what they need to happen and what you need to make it successful. And I believe the numbers are going to show that. Go back to October of 2015 with the Louis Vuitton. We blew those numbers out of the water. The same thing will happen with America's Cup now. We will make the numbers. It will have the economic impact that we expect. In addition, Gary, most importantly, it will be sustainable going forward. It will continue to put Bermuda on the map.
And stick around, we'll have much more on all things America's Cup later on in our newscast. And police today identifying the island's fifth road fatality for 2017 as 41-year-old Michael Skinner. Mr. Skinner was seriously injured in a reported single-vehicle motorcycle crash around 9:15 Saturday night. It is now understood that the motorcycle he was riding struck a sidewalk along North Shore Road in Pembroke near Church Lane in the vicinity of Grace Methodist Church. Mr. Skinner was rushed to hospital via ambulance but was later pronounced dead. A family liaison officer has been appointed to assist his family at this difficult time. The appeal for any witnesses continues, and if you have information that can assist the investigation, contact the Roads Policing Unit on 247-1788. Elsewhere, the start of the America's Cup did not affect the opposition's focus on the upcoming general election and issues of the day. 3 Progressive Labour Party parliamentarians today joined forces at Alaska Hall to scold the ruling party for its handling of teachers. It follows a protest by public school teachers outside of Cabinet Office last week. Tarai Trott picks up the story from here.
We still don't seem to be as close as we should to getting this right.
Heavily criticizing the ruling OBA's record on education, Diallo Rabane, the shadow minister for education, expressed his Progressive Labour Party's disapproval of multiple plans, reports, and multiple OBA ministers for education.
With a system that graduates the majority of our students leaving high school yearly, the occasional victory is nowhere near good enough. The percentage of the high flyers is still too low.
Mr. Rabane promising a PLP government would depoliticize the public education system by putting in place a distance between the Minister of Education and the Education Board.
In other words, it's time to place those professionals, those educational professionals that are in place to bear the responsibility and accountability to ensure our education system is performing as it should.
And the PLP repeating their pledge to end social promotion in the schools if they are restored to power, continue the consolidation of preschools with primary schools, and to bring in retired teachers to help develop school programs. Meanwhile, MP Rolf Comisiong, the shadow minister for Labor and Workforce Development, claimed the OBA government had willfully neglected teachers in favor of the America's Cup and other government projects.
For the last 5 years, our teachers have worked without raises as the cost of living in Bermuda increases, and they have worked without a new collective bargaining agreement, providing them without security. During that time, they have taught and fought for our children, and in return, when protecting our children from toxic mold or serious associated health issues, they have been called mischievous, quote unquote, by the leader of the country, Premier Dunkley, who is, however, content to prioritize expenditure on improving the cabinet building.
Mr. Comisiong giving his party's backing to last week's teachers' protest, in which teachers complained they had been working without a contract for some time.
And by not caring for our teachers, the One Bermuda Alliance government is not caring for our students.
Also at Alaska Hall to examine the state of education was opposition Senator Tanae Ming, who speaks for her party on disability affairs and on education in the Senate.
In 2012, the OBA made many promises the Bermudian people believed, and promises that gave Bermudians hope. They went on to break those promises with no apologies and no excuses.
Asked why voters should trust the new PLP government to reform education when some of the current issues with education went unaddressed under their previous watch. Mr. Rabane explaining,
You look up here, you see 2 PLP members that have children in the public school system who have extensive experience of dealing with what we find as lacking within the public school system. And I think that, with us talking to fellow parents, fellow educators, fellow administrators, we think that moving in this direction is the correct direction to move into.
And that was Tarai Trott reporting. We contacted the Ministry of Education and OBA headquarters about this story and did not receive an official reply as of last check. Stay with us. More news after the break.
I went to Hasco with a set of kitchen plans and some additional ideas, and they really helped me refine those to end up with a great kitchen that we have now.
We went to them looking for help designing the kitchen and installing the kitchen, and it was a great experience.
The service was exceptional. Very happy overall with the service.
So once the project started, it went very quickly, very smoothly.
So I was very, very happy.
So that was really great.
We invite you to visit our Hasco Home showroom in Southampton to see everything we have to offer.
If you're looking for extra savings and free benefits
with car insurance
and home insurance,
Colonial has just the cover you need.
there's a free $250 gift voucher for new home insurance customers, too. And 10% car insurance discount if you have home insurance.
With a claim service that's quick and friendly.
We call it Cover Without Added Costs.
Call for a quote on 296-3700 or visit cgigroup.com.
Colonial, where people come first.
An update today on those new public service regulations that caused alarm among the island's civil servants. Governor John Rankin has announced that he has consulted with the Premier, Attorney General, and with the Bermuda Public Services Union and has revoked a number of those previous provisions. The BPSU complained that some of those provisions had violated best practice and actually handed the UK government more direct control over the civil service. Elsewhere, as the America's Cup continues from Dockyard, our Gary Moreno caught up with Kevin Dallas, the CEO of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, to ask him how he exactly predicts the sailing race will benefit the island.
I think the America's Cup has really accelerated the delivery of the strategy that we're already on. So, this doesn't fundamentally change our course, but what it does is accelerate the trajectory.
So where are we in terms of the America's Cup and its significance to the Bermuda tourism product?
So in terms of the impact on the product, I think the exposure that Bermuda has already had has been absolutely phenomenal. So the renewed interest in Bermuda from publications, from media outlets, from everyone from CNN and Forbes to the BBC, to the kind of publications that we normally target, people like Condé Nast Traveler, have all been prompted to look again at Bermuda. And what we've been really focused on is not so much the sailing press, not the people that would cover this kind of event anyway, but on going out to lifestyle magazines, to leisure publications, to use the Cup as a hook to get them interested in Bermuda again. So in terms of the exposure we've had, I think I couldn't be happier. I think the other real impact that this has had on our tourism product is it's really helped us reimagine what's possible. So, we've really raised our game in terms of the quality of experience and on the scale in which we can do it. So this is a great proving ground for Bermuda that we can pull off an event like this. This is something we should all be incredibly proud of, and this really becomes now our selling tool when we try to go get more events, things like the World Triathlon Series for Bermuda.
A new in-depth survey has found that recreational drug use among adults has dropped in the past 4 years, and that children are being introduced to substances at a later age. This according to the 5th National Household Survey on Drug Consumption and Health. According to Senator Jeff Barron, the survey indicates the misuse of substances has declined despite government budget cuts. Since 2013, when the last survey was carried out, Senator Barron says out of the 1,200 participants, the use of drugs among adults over 16 years of age decreased marginally. The report highlights the trends relating to legal and illegal drug use, spending habits, and behaviors in the adult population. Alcohol and cannabis remain the most popular choice of drug. The survey also revealing 70% of participants are in favor of social host legislation.
And what that means is that if you are an adult and you are providing or making access or giving access to a minor any illegal substance, alcohol, tobacco, you name it, you're going to be held accountable for that, and you're going to be breaking the law. It could come from a doctor or nurse at the hospital when someone is taken in for alcohol poisoning, drug use, substance abuse. If there is a road traffic accident where the police have to stop and talk to someone, and certainly they are, 16 or underage, and they have been found to have any illegal substances or legal substances that were given to them by an adult at a premise or the household, that person will be held accountable, and that's a big step in the right direction.
Calling it a positive trend, Senator Barron says in 2017, children are being introduced to drugs later in life.
The minimum age of point of contact has grown from 13 and a half years old, and now it's up to 16. So youth are experiencing and using and trying drugs at a later age. However, what we do also know is that roughly 30 years old is the average age of when people start to use hard drugs such as heroin.
Minister Barron confident that drug use in adults will continue downwards as educational programs remain effective in the school system. After day 3 and 15 races of the 35th America's Cup, defending champions Oracle Team USA remain on top of the standings with 5 points. Emirates Team New Zealand climbed from 3rd to 2nd on 4 points, and Land Rover BAR slipped to 3rd on 3 points, with Artemis, SoftBank Team Japan and Groupama France all on 2 points. In today's action, France upset Land Rover BAR. A late penalty saw Emirates Team New Zealand defeat Artemis. In the third and final race, SoftBank Team Japan soundly defeated Groupama Team France. Mike Sharp spoke to Nathan Outeridge, the skipper of Artemis, and Sir Ben Ainsley, the skipper of Land Rover BAR.
We're speaking now with Nathan Outeridge, the skipper of Artemis Racing Team. Nathan, 2 days of racing, 3 days of racing now behind us, 15 races. But out there today, you was what they say around here, cutting a trail between you and Emirates Team New Zealand. Looked like you had this one in the bag. Then something happened and a penalty all of a sudden appeared up on the screen. Take us through the race and up to that penalty and your thoughts of things.
Yeah, as everyone would have saw, it was a tight race the whole way around. We had a bit of an unforced error at the start. We thought we'd done a really good job against Pete, but we got a penalty for being over, which must have been within millimetres, and so we had to let him by. And then the race was on to chase him down. And guys on board did an awesome job of smooth manoeuvres and really pushing the boat to its limit. And by the top mark, we had a nice little lead, 2-second lead. And then we crossed jibes again on the next run. And following beat, crossed jibes again. And on the final run, we stretched out a little bit more. We had a small lead. And coming into the bottom mark, we were coming in on port. They were coming in on starboard and left turn to the finish. And so we gave them the room they needed to do a jibe. And it just looked like they had a really bad jibe and stuffed the bows in the water. And we got a penalty. So,
do you agree with it?
I don't know. It's not my place to agree with it or not, but I'm still in shock, let's put it that way.
Speaking now with Sir Ben Ainsley, the skipper helmsman of Land Rover BAR. What a race out there, Groupama to open up. I mean, that was something, eh?
Yeah, they sailed a great race, and all credit to them. It was a frustrating one for us. We had a nice start, we had the lead, but they were just a little bit quicker upwind and ground us down and sailed a great race. So we've got to go back to the drawing board, look at our performance, what we can improve to get the speed, and come back fighting tomorrow.
Is it safe to say that hull is fixed and done deal? It's okay?
Yeah, the hull of the boat's fine. Our shore team did an amazing job getting that fixed up in such a short time. No, it's got nothing to do with the hulls. It's the rest of the package that we didn't quite get right today, both in terms of speed and we made a few small mistakes out there on the race course as well. So we must review, we must get better, and I'm determined we'll do that.
Yeah. Let's look at the standings. USA 5 points, New Zealand 4, and then you're there with 3 points.
Well, we've taken a few points in the America's Cup World Series, so right now we're pretty thankful that we've got those. But still, it's all on for that final spot, getting eliminated, moving, making sure that we get into the playoffs, and that's really the focus for us now. And like I said, we've got to keep working, got to keep developing, and if we can do that, we can be a strong team.
Tomorrow, New Zealand face Sweden, France take on USA, and Sweden clash with Great Britain. Rachel Sodden and Gary Foster Skelton were around the America's Cup event village today, checking out the Goslings Bar and the Endeavour program.
So I'm here in the Goslings tent. This really is quite a place to be. Mike Hine on the ukulele, jam it up for everyone. Kiss and hug her tight. And you have incredible views overlooking the sound. It's a great place to watch the racing.
This is one of the most gorgeous spots I've ever played.
It's not a bad gig.
No, not at all. You won't hear me complaining one little bit.
Have you seen a lot of other local entertainers out here getting work through the Cup?
Up here at the village, there are quite a few entertainers, but it's also the knock-on effect. I'm working 4 or 5 nights a week all summer this year because of the America's Cup, because of the upturn in tourism.
If you click on the star...
Both the arm muscles and the brain muscles are being put to work at the Endeavour tent. So Purvis and Somerset Primary came into the Endeavour Education Station, so they had a hands-on experience of the technology behind the America's Cup, the health and nutrition elements. It's a sustainability, trying to prevent single-use plastics. And then we also have the tech zone behind me with the AC simulator. They had to go driving America's Cup boat. They put the virtual eye headsets on, so they had a feeling of what it's like on board.
Oh, he's looking at me!
Tons and tons of activities. Around 100 students just came through. We're going to have about 2,500 students come through here as part of our school outreach program, and it's fantastic. So we've got another school group coming in any second now.
It's really an awesome experience for them. They're using their science and they're using their health. They're very excited.
Now let's head over to the AccuWeather headquarters for the latest.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This forecast is brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group. We are looking at a little bit of spotty shower action off to the north, and we're dealing with most of us staying dry tonight with only a very stray shower possible. You can see that cluster of showers off to our north. That's tied to a weak disturbance. But as we bring it on home into the area of Bermuda, it's not a bad evening. Pretty nice out there, really. A little bit breezy, but the winds are not overly strong. Winds generally from the west, 15 to 20 knots. Water temp, no changes since yesterday, 75 degrees. Humidity is a little bit drier than it was 24 hours ago, about 65 to 70%. Waves on the inside, about 1 to 2 feet. Outside, 3 to 5 feet. And you can see we are around 78 to 79 degrees here early this evening. As we look at tonight's forecast, we expect to be partly cloudy, and it will be a little breezy out there. The temperatures will only get down to about 72 or so, but it looks like a fairly nice day tomorrow. Most of us will remain dry, a good deal of sunshine, a little breezy in the morning. Highs will be up around 80 degrees for your Tuesday. And as we look at the specifics here, we did have high tide back around 12:12. Looking ahead this evening, 6:20 p.m., low tide. And then we have another high tide coming up just after midnight, and the following low tide, 7:27 a.m. on Tuesday. So that's the big idea here. Hope you get to enjoy the time out near the water tomorrow. Gateway forecast, a little cool in New York City. They've been unseasonably cool in the U.S. Many people consider Memorial Day weekend, which was today, the beginning of the unofficial start to the summer season, and it's really been running much cooler than the norm in places like Toronto, New York, and Boston especially, and into Atlanta. A little warmer down that way. Miami, 91. They've been warm in parts of Florida. Current conditions in other parts of the region, heading south into the Caribbean. You can see Jamaica stands near 90 with some spotty storms nearby, and we're on the same page there in Trinidad, and Scarborough, Tobago, maybe a degree or two cooler. Here's the extended forecast. We're looking at fairly pleasant weather. Very nice out there, near 80. Not much of a chance of showers. Overnight lows will dip down into the low to mid 70s out there on a very consistent basis through the rest of the week into Saturday. You can catch the latest news and weather on Ocean 89, Power 95, or Inspire 105.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
In association with America's Cup Endeavor and BASE, BF&M launched the No Limit Sailing Program for children with autism.
When Kieran first started with us, didn't speak that much. He has very little social skills, so he doesn't understand the social norms.
So the Endeavour programme is focused on giving 9 to 12-year-olds access to sailing through education. The biggest surprises are just how some of the children take to sailing, take to a different environment in a very different way. From one of the boys just putting his hands in the water and feeling the flow of the water, and then some of the other children who may not be able to be competitive in other sports, or having a go at trimming the sail correctly or steering in the right direction.
I'm happy. You're happy, okay. I think in the beginning, something outside of anything that he's ever experienced. Since he started gotten into the routine of what's going on. He can describe what's going on, so that communication aspect and descriptive language is big for him. Instead of seeing it in a picture, he's experiencing it.
This spring, as you make the transition from your living room to your patio, bring a touch of class to your outdoor living space with a new patio set from Big Savings Zone. Our new line of outdoor furniture features a wide range of sectional sofas, round and rectangular dining tables, as well as matching chairs and umbrellas. Ashley's outdoor furniture is crafted for comfort and durability, boasting a state-of-the-art rust-free finish for years of enjoyment. Exclusively available at Big Savings Zone, Southside St. David's.
Bermuda's own Nikki Wells and Huddersfield promoted. St. David's are the 2020 cricket champions, and Paralympian Jessica Lewis competes in Switzerland. Earl Basin has all the details and more in tonight's sports report.
Nakie Wells converted Huddersfield's third kick from the penalty mark as a 45-year wait is now over as they clinched a English Premier League football spot for next season after defeating Reading on penalty kicks in the Championship playoff final. Few would have backed these sides to be challenging for promotion at the start of the campaign, with Wells and his teammates considered to be in for a relegation fight, while Reading started under a new coach, Jaap Stan. Both teams have had memorable campaigns, but Reading's has ended in heartache, whereas Huddersfield can now look forward to life in the Premier League after securing a 4-3 penalty shootout triumph after 120 minutes of goalless football at Wembley. This is how the penalty shootout unfolded.
And bottom left again in the final. Very, very cool indeed. With the save. Oh, battered into the net. But Wells has done it. Oh, skies it. Rolls it in. Oh, and Ward produces the save. For Schindler. Has a chance to write his name in Huddersfield Town legend. And he takes that chance! The fairy tale season has the happiest ending.
During the celebrations, Wells was seen paying respect to his good friend, Tumaini Steed. In what can only be described as a nail-biting finish to the final, St. David's Cricket Club defeated Bailey's Bay by 1 run in the Bermuda Cricket Board's 2020 final at Seabreeze Oval yesterday. Two-time defending champions Bailey's Bay needed 3 runs to tie and 4 to win on the last ball. This is how things played out. David's Cricket Club won the toss and elected to bat. They were bowled out for 106. They had 4 players go without scoring, while George O'Brien was their top scorer with 45. Derek Brengman was the pick of the Bayless Bay bowlers, returning figures of 4 overs, 1 maiden, 4 for 23. In reply, Bayless Bay could only manage 105 for 7, with Brengman stranded on 30. The Unstubble was the pick of the St. David's Cricket Club bowlers, with figures of 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 15. St. David's Cricket Club captain Dalwan Borden said mission accomplished even after a low total was put on the board.
Well, how the wicket was playing, the wicket, 106 was, I don't think it was enough, but I said to the boys before we came out, we'll build teams out for under 50 before. There's no reason why we can't build Bay out for under 50. We didn't achieve that, but they didn't get our score, so I'm all happy.
The plate final saw the clock rolled back for some as Tough Dogs defeated Devonshire Recreation Club. Tough Dogs scored 193 for 3 after being asked to bat. Dean Miners was the top scorer with 94 off of 43 deliveries. Miners batted for an hour. He hit 9 fours and 7 sixes. Omar Hart was the pick of the Devonshire Recreation Club bowlers with figures of 3 overs, 2 for 18. In reply, Devonshire Recreation Club were bowled out for 114. Hawani Brown was the top scorer with 73 off of 44 deliveries. He had 9 fours and 5 sixes, but he had no support. Arnold Mendes was the pick of the Tough Dogs bowlers with figures of 4 overs, 3 for 15. Tough Dogs captain Terence Corday spoke about the innings of Miners.
It's a great innings. I mean, got a little lucky on the first one. We were dropped in front of a fielder, but after that, he certainly started middling it. And with him and McLaren Lowe supporting him really well, had 40. Dean had a brilliant 94 today. It's a shame he couldn't just get that extra for his century, but he's been a mainstay of our middle order. As everyone knows, he's class. You know, he's one of the top batsman players Bermuda's ever produced, and we're just lucky to have him.
Shaquille O'Deal, representing St. Augustine University, and Dage Miners, representing Franklin Pierce University, took to the track for the NCAA Division II Outdoor Track and Field Championships men's 800-meter final. Dill clocked a time of 1:50.86 to finish fifth, while Miners finished eighth with a time of 1:52.48. Dill Wood returned to the track and helped the St. Augustine University men's 4x400-meter relay team win, clocking a time of 3:06.96. They finished more than 1 second ahead of Lincoln University. Bermuda's Paralympian Jessica Lewis competed in Switzerland. Lewis took to the track for the Swiss National Track and Field Meet. This meet sees organizers combine the T53 and T54 competitors. During the T53-54 women's 100-meter race, Lewis finished third, clocking a time of 17:24. Samantha Kinghorn from Great Britain clocked a winning time of 16:38. Angela Ballard from Australia finished second in 16:81, clocking a time of 1:01.33 during the T53-54 women's 400-meter race, saw Lewis finish 18th. Kinghorn clocked a winning time of 54.05. Ballard was second in 54.17, and Madison D. Rosario from Australia finished third in 56.23. Caden Hopkins continued his winning ways as he rode to victory in the Winner's Edge time trial around Harrington Sound yesterday. Hopkins won the Sinclair Packwood Memorial Race on Bermuda Day, was able to clock a winning time of 32.42. Anthony Bartley finished second in a time of 35.58, and Connor White continued his strong season start, finishing third with a time of 36.17. Nicole Mitchell won the women's race with a time of 39.49. Sinclair Packwood Memorial Race female champion Alyssa Rouse was second in 39.58. Zanique Williams rounded out the top three female finishers when she clocked a time of 41.06. Meanwhile, Robin Horsfield finished 21st out of 39 entries in the UCI World Junior Cycle Race Series. This race took place in Quebec. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
The first weekend of the America's Cup 2017 provided local and international fans a remarkable eye-opener of international sailing in Bermuda. Ian Rawlins was on hand and provided this report on the first day.
Bermuda made history on day one by hosting the 35th America's Cup presented by Louis Vuitton in the Great Sound. A total of 6 races started on day one, what we consider it as world-class racing over the next 23 days during the month of June.
The official start of the event was postponed due to inclement weather conditions. However, local and international fans turned out on Saturday in droves. Cameraman Gareth Fletcher and I had the opportunity to speak with locals and international spectators on their thoughts of Bermuda hosting an event of this magnitude. Albert Steele, one of the island's most prolific cricketers and all-round sportsmen, was in attendance on day one of the event.
It's absolutely phenomenal. Ian came in first thing this morning. I thought I was early at 8 o'clock, 8:30. People here at 5 o'clock this morning doing the last preparations for the America's Cup. It turned out to be a fantastic day weather-wise. The racing's been great. The atmosphere has been electric. Couldn't ask for a better first day.
You're a person that came along and competed in various sports. You think you could have been a sailor one day?
I would like to try it at least. I mean, the youngsters have an opportunity to sail. From what I've heard, a few have never sailed before until last year, and they're playing in this and sailing this Youth World Tournament. So it's absolutely a great opportunity for these youngsters, and I would have loved to have had the opportunity. But I'm just so happy that the youngsters can have the opportunity to display some of their talents.
Jeff Conyers, a former triathlete and fitness buff, was in awe as he attended the opening day of the America's Cup.
Once you're here, you just can't believe it. It's really wonderful, and I just think it's great for everyone. I mean, we're all got issues we got to figure out. I mean, it's a crazy world. I mean, watching this stuff is like surreal, but you know, to be here and see it on the screen, it's special. And it's pretty special today.
The weather has been great. Yeah. It's at least 11,000 people expected out today.
Right.
It looks like it's 11,000 plus already.
Yeah.
What's the atmosphere been like for you?
Yeah, it's great. You know, it's like being at a major event anywhere in the world. I mean, you know, but this is just unique to Bermuda. I mean, the fact that we can do this here is, very special.
From a sporting perspective, you ever thought Bermuda will host an event like this? Because we had the Golf Classic at one time, we had the tennis, but this is athletes in their prime going on the international circuit around the world.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I think the golf was pretty special. I mean, you still had the top-class athletes. These guys are a breed of their own. I mean, it is the racehorse, the greyhound of racing. And I guess what's really interesting about Bermuda is that you're seeing a disparity of wealth here that's just mind-boggling. And we're all just agog by it because, you know, you just can't put words to it. But to be here and to have them all here and enjoying it is, yeah, very fun. Very fun.
Robin Christopher, who lives in the gym on a daily basis, was pleased that Bermuda is able to host an international event like this.
I'm happy they did because it looks like it's turning out to be a great event, and it's a very nice atmosphere.
It's so real. Can you believe that it's happening right here, right now, and you're a part of it?
I really can't, you know.
What was going through your mind when you made your way to Dockyard earlier today?
I was just hoping that it was going to be a lot of people here, and it's just going to turn out to be a great event. I want to see Wycliffe later, so that was on my mind, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
As for sailing, this is a sport that brings out the Mecca, and we've hosted it here in Bermuda. You got countries around the world competing for a world event. It's happening here right now.
Yeah, well, you see what I'm got on. Team New Zealand.
Support New Zealand?
For today.
For today?
For today.
And the other days?
I don't know yet. You know, I like Oracle, but for today I'm New Zealand.
Right. Overall, though, are you pleased with the atmosphere on day one?
I am. I think the government did a good job on this event. I just wish everybody has a good time at the American Cups event, and welcome to Bermuda.
From what we witnessed on day one, Bermuda is hosting an international event like no other. The atmosphere is spectacular, and the overall experience is worth every moment.
Come witness all the action in the event village in Dockyard. I'm Ian Rawlings reporting.
Bermuda Broadcasting has a brand new web series running throughout the America's Cup, where we take our eyes off the racing and focus on the buzz in the event village. With more than 25,000 views on Facebook already, here's our look at the opening day of AC 35.
Oh, yeah!
It is day one of the 35th America's Cup, and the crowds are just starting to stream in.
There is a tangible, touchable, chewable atmosphere of anticipation here at the America's Cup event village. Even the hat's excited, and he doesn't like to work weekends. Mother Nature may have granted them 24 hours reprieve, but now local vendors are ready to make some money.
You've only been in business since October, you said? And that's pretty exciting for you.
That was a big deal for us, you know, just to have the opportunity to actually come up here.
Is this just a little kid's lemonade stand that's blown up?
Yes, exactly what it is. We just started out outside my mom's shop. It's been 7 years in business now, and we're doing the America's Cup.
And how's the process been from first getting the offer and then building it up here for today?
It's been busy, but definitely worth it. Definitely good exposure.
You may have spotted a few guys falling from the sky earlier. What's it like up there?
Oh, this is our second time jumping here, and I gotta say it's one of the prettiest places I've ever skydived.
Ground team, you guys swap out a bit. Who goes up? Who stays on the ground?
We would practically fight for this venue for sure. This is just absolutely epic.
The event village is absolutely jam-packed with people. The atmosphere is incredible, unlike anything I've ever seen in Bermuda. Everyone's excited. You look absolutely amazing.
I was thinking something that was cool and let me get some breeze in. I found these wedges, which are quite comfortable as well.
Tell us about what you were thinking when you got dressed today.
I wanted something that was going to be cool. He, on the other hand, wore jeans.
You're suffering for fashion.
I'm suffering.
So you've got some tassels on your bag.
On trend.
On trend. Did you coordinate? You just woke up and just like, man, we're wearing...
It was definitely planned out.
My mom packed my suitcase, so...
So I thought I was making a statement. Pink and blue is appropriate for Bermuda.
Definitely with the Burmese.
This is the race I've been waiting for. Oracle Team USA versus Emirates Team New Zealand. racing of the America's Cup has been absolutely incredible. The atmosphere has been amazing. People look amazing. You have to come see this. Steal a ticket, buy a ticket off of somebody, get out on a boat. Even if you're not into sailing, just come and experience it and soak up the atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
And that's our extended broadcast for tonight. I'm Jasmine Patterson. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.